Voters in Iran are headed to a runoff presidential election on July the 5th. None of the candidates managed to secure more than 50% of the vote. Reformist Masoud Pezeshkian won the most votes, but still fell short of that majority. Ultra-conservative Saeed Jalili came in second. The two will now face a runoff vote next Friday. It's only the second time there's been a presidential runoff in Iran since the 1979 revolution. There was a record low turnout of 40%. Well, let's break down those first-round election results. The sole reformist candidate, Masoud Pezeshkian, secured the most with 42.5% of the vote, followed by Saeed Jalili, the former chief nuclear negotiator, has 38.6% of the vote. Let's go live now to Tehran. There we can join our correspondent there covering this story, Zaina Hodder. Zaina, tell us about the vote and the results and what the mood is there right now.
Well, in less than a week, Iranians will return to the polling stations. There's still no president because neither of the main candidates managed to secure 50% of the vote. Saeed Jalili, the ultra-conservative, and the reformist, the sole reformist on the ballot paper, Masoud Pezeshkian, they didn't manage to get that 50%. Now, Pezeshkian had a slight lead of 1 million votes. So it really shows you the deep divisions between the two main camps in this country, the conservatives and the reformists. Conservatives because, you know, they didn't present a united candidate. They didn't have a consensus candidate, which really split the conservative vote, and this played to their disadvantage. And on the reformist side, you have also divisions within that wing. They were not able to make this political comeback because there were some factions within the reformist camp who didn't believe that they should be taking part in this vote. There are disillusioned voters who believe that there will be no change through the ballot box. So these deep divisions didn't allow a new president to emerge. Now, there is a lot of voter apathy in this country because Iranians really have been reeling under a strained economy, bad relations with the West, and some of them even say the lack of civil and social liberties. So the candidates, whether the conservative camp or the reformist camp, really were not able to create that much enthusiasm for people to head to the polling stations.
Zaina, do you think there will be more enthusiasm next Friday when the runoff happens?
Well, it's hard to say now that there are two candidates on the ballot paper, two very different candidates. An ultra-conservative, for example, Saeed Jalili, who doesn't believe in, détente with the West, unlike the reformist candidate. He believes that Iran should rely on itself. He believes in the policies of the former president to look east. And then you have a reformist candidate who many say is not a reformist in the sense that he's also somehow government appointed, because what he believes is change has to come from within, that he has to work from within the system. But the question is, for example, supporters of Kalibah, the other main conservative candidate, who are they going to give their votes to? Are they going to give it to Jalili, bearing in mind that these two leaders have, this long rivalry between them? Or will they support the reformist candidate? And will reformers throw their weight behind Pezeshkian to avoid a hardline administration? A man like Jalili, who really hasn't talked much about improving civil liberties. So there are a lot of questions, but no doubt a lot is at stake, because the election here will have implications for the country. It will have implications for its relations with the West. The president also has a lot of challenges, internal challenges, to improve the lives of the Iranian people.
Zaina Hodder bringing us the latest there from Tehran. Thanks very much, Zaina. Let's now bring in Hamid Reza Gholamzadeh. He's the director of the Diplomatic House think tank in Tehran. He was also the former editor-in-chief at Mehr News Agency. Joins us now, also from Tehran. Good to have you with us. Did you expect the results to be this close and to have a runoff between a conservative, an ultra-conservative candidate and a pro-reformist candidate? I mean, it's a pretty stark choice that's been left for Iranians.
It was expected that the race would be very tight, but it was not expected to be with such a low turnout. Actually, only polls had argued that it would be at least 46% of turnout, or up to something like 55-56%. So the turnout on the results of the yesterday election is actually a failure for all the polls and surveys that we had in Iran, and they failed totally to be close to the results. But the race would be tight. It was expected that since we had two main candidates on the conservative side, it would be expected to split the votes, and then Pezeshkian would be on the reformist camp, would be the top runner or the second runner. And the results, as you can see in the final results, he is less than 1 million votes higher than Jalili. So it needs to be waited for the next Friday to see what the results is. The point is that if we refer to the other time that we had a runoff election, it was 2005. The second round, we had a lower turnout compared to the main election. So if it is going to be like that, we are going to have a less turnout in the next Friday that is going to happen.
OK, is this low turnout because many people feel that no matter who they vote for, no matter who becomes president, they are still disillusioned with the system because nothing will change?
I would say that this interpretation of the vote is that people want change. The reformist camp failed to activate their hardcore body of society to vote for them. So despite having President Khatami, Prime Minister Zarif, former Parliament Speaker Karoubi, and many other people, President Rouhani, supporting Pezeshkian and inviting people to join for the vote, they actually failed to awaken that part of the society, which is usually when we have a turnout more than 50%, is usually coming from the reformist side. And if it is more than 60%, you can say for sure that almost all the votes that are going to be added are from the reformist side. But it was not like that. So we are seeing that 40% of turnout is on the scene. And part of the vote has gone from the traditionally voting for conservatives to the reformists. And I would interpret that as the people are saying that they want change. It's not a part of the society is not voting, and they are actually somehow saying their voice by not voting. Their message is that we are not participating. It was the same that happened in parliamentary election.
Exactly. And is that because Pezeshkian does not represent enough of a change, enough of a reformist agenda?
I would say it is because of the economy. Because part of the, as I said, part of the conservative vote has gone for the reformist side or has not turned out to the ballot boxes. So it says that the economy has been the top issue for them. And they cannot see the change in people like Ghalibaf or Jalili because they are usually the traditional candidates, and they have been in the voting in the past, and they have always been in power, and they're traditional candidates. So they don't see any change in those people. Pezeshkian is a senior MP, but he has never been into politics in terms of presidential elections or executive side of the power. He was a minister many years ago during Khatami's administration. So people cannot remember about him anything like that. So he was a new face to that. So many people voted for him because they see change in him and not in the others. And there are some people who are feeling that they are unrepresented in the power structure, and they are not voting for anyone right now.
So the turnout will be crucial to watch next Friday, as well as the result, the final result. Hamid Reza Gholamzadeh, many thanks indeed for joining us.